Greetings all. I wasn't going to do a Halloween special this year. It's been super busy and I had a hard time thinking about something I wanted to passionately talk about. It wasn't until I was showing my kids some of my favorite classic Disney Halloween shorts when I realized I should talk about these. Believe it or not, Disney wasn't always the rotting franchise-consuming zombie that it has become. And even in its current state, every once in a while, it can produce something fun. This year I'll be talking about The Haunted House, 1929, The Mad Doctor, 1933, Lonesome Ghost, 1937, The Sorcerer's Apprentice from Fantasia, 1940, Night on Bald Mountain, also from Fantasia, 1940, Trick or Treat, 1952, and Ghoulfriend, 2013. There might be more Disney Halloween shorts out there, but these are the ones that I've seen and enjoyed. There will be spoilers, so if you want to watch these shorts but haven't, leave this video now. I highly recommend watching them, especially during this season. Some unsung heroes actually posted all these videos on YouTube, and I believe they're on Disney Plus, maybe in slightly better quality. The ones I watched on YouTube were solid enough to enjoy. Let's kick things off with The Haunted House, starring none other than Mickey Mouse. Mickey finds himself out in the middle of a storm and so seeks refuge in a shady house. The animation is quite amazing. The black and white presentation is absolutely gorgeous. This short is almost 100 years old and it still looks phenomenal. The sound is a bit crusty, but I feel like that crustiness just adds to the overall Halloween aesthetic. There is a scene where the Grim Reaper forces Mickey to play a song on a piano simply by shouting "play" in a horrifying voice. There are bats, spiders, and a host of dancing skeletons that are sure to please kids and adults alike. The haunted pirate jig is the centerpiece of the short. I especially like the skeleton who uses his skeletal frame as a xylophone. The Mad Doctor is similar to the Haunted House in that Mickey ventures into a spook-infested domain. I even noticed that the bat animation is reused from the Haunted House, though it is a bit shortened. However, this time, Mickey is on a quest to rescue his dog, Pluto, who has been kidnapped by the Mad Doctor. The Mad Doctor's motive is quite grisly. He aims to transplant Pluto's head onto the body of a chicken and see if the egg the hybrid creature lays produces a dog-chicken offspring. Somehow, be it by science or by the dark arts, the Mad Doctor's fortress is packed with skeletons. Yes, these undead menace make their return, though the animation is not recycled in this case from the Haunted House, and these ghastly fiends are not easily distracted by music. By the end, it is revealed that it was all a nightmare. Mickey is actually in his bed and Pluto hasn't been kidnapped at all. I'm not a fan of the "it's just a dream" ending in pretty much any narrative, but the offense here is minimal. Both shorts are of the utmost quality and do a fine job encompassing the Halloween spirit. Next up is Lonesome Ghost, and this is one I watched plenty when I was a wee lad. A group of ghosts who have taken up residence in a dilapidated house are bored because there is no one for them to scare. One of them finds an ad in the newspaper for ghost exterminators. It's interesting to see that the idea of ghost busting was around long before the Ghostbusters. The ghosts decide to call the ghost exterminators to their house to give them a scare. Of course, the employees of the ghost exterminators are Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. They get a phone call from the ghosts pretending to be a woman telling them that the house is filled with ghosts. The team take up the job and are on the case. Once they enter the house, they are quickly ambushed by the ghosts and separated so that the ghosts can torment them one at a time. It is interesting to note that Mickey is wielding a double-barrel shotgun. Ah, the good old days. Not entirely sure if that would have any effect on ghosts, but it is cool nonetheless. Reminds me of Ash Williams, or even the Doom guy. Yeah, Mickey Mouse, the Ghost Slayer. Rip and tear, Mickey. until it is done. Eventually, our three heroes crash together into a barrel of molasses and are covered in bags of flour. Their appearance at this point resembles ghosts way more terrifying than the clown-like ghosts of the house. When the ghosts see these new terrifying ghosts, they flee in terror, leaving our champions victorious. The attention to detail in this short is nothing less of extraordinary, especially for the house itself. This has to be one of my all-time favorite shorts. It is just entirely fun and perfect for the haunting season. Again, though, the sound design gets a bit crusty. Keep in mind, this is pre-World War II animation we're talking about here. And though the sound effect for the ghostly voices is cool, it makes it hard to tell what the ghosts are saying. Also, it is almost impossible to decipher Donald's speech, but that's just because he is Donald. This short is so good, I wish there was more of it. Maybe an animated series is something to think about. Eh, Disney? Just saying. Fantasia hit the scene in 1940 and is a compilation feature of several different animated episodes set to classical music. The poster boy for Fantasia is Mickey as the Sorcerer's Apprentice and is a recognizable figure even in today's culture. Mickey's master, a scary wizard, takes a break from his magical work, leaving his pointy cosmic hat in the chamber. Mickey, the apprentice, sees this as an opportunity to try his hand in the dark arts. He dons the hat and immediately animates a broom, giving it arms and hands so that it can carry out the apprentice's tasks of moving water from a fountain to a cauldron in the sorcerer's study. While the broom carries out his orders, Mickey falls asleep and dreams of himself having a mastery over the cosmic powers of sorcery, the entire universe at his whims. He awakes to the entire study flooded with water. The broom servant doesn't stop his task. From the well to the cauldron, it continues. Mickey tries to stop it, but it doesn't cease. Finally, Mickey takes up an axe and chops the broom to splinters. Mickey takes a sigh of relief, but suddenly, the splinters arise and turn into copies of the broom. Now there are hundreds of broom servants carrying hundreds of buckets of water. The study floods completely. Mickey is submerged and then caught in a whirlpool. He finds his master's spellbook and uses it as a raft as he desperately flips through the pages looking for a solution when suddenly the sorcerer appears and parts the water, expelling all of it from the room. The sorcerer scowls at Mickey, who sheepishly resumes his tasks. Though it isn't a Halloween short, it still features ghostly imagery, a mysterious wizard, a skull, and a terrifying scenario. It is a cautionary tale that tells of disaster striking when someone who is untrained suddenly comes into great power, even if they have best intentions at heart. The animation is astounding, and the music, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, by Paul Dukas, is a treat. While we are on the topic of Fantasia, another short in the same compilation is very, very Halloween. Night on Bald Mountain is by far my favorite short in Fantasia and one of my favorite pieces of animation of all time. The music, Night on Bald Mountain by Mussorgsky, conjures images of hell and other dark things, and this short nails it perfectly. A giant winged devil figure awakes at night from the peak of a lone mountain that overlooks a beautiful town. His shadow consumes the town, and in its wake ghosts arise from their graves. They fly to their lord to take part in his demonic carnival on the top of the mountain. Near the mountain, chasms to hell open and demons crawl up from the fire pits. In the palm of the devil's hand, they dance and change shape. The festival grows in intensity until the first rays of light creep out from over the horizon. All the ghosts retreat back to their graves, the demons slink back down to hell, and the devil wraps his massive wings around himself to revert back to the top of the mountain. Once again, animation is superb. I especially love near the end when it seems like the devil is going to carry out some diabolical scheme only to be bewildered by the first rays of morning. He starts again to complete his mission only for the light to reach him again. At this point, his expression is only mild annoyance, and the animation does such a great job at portraying his relatively slow descent into realization that he is defeated. Every ghost is unique, and I love the skeleton ghosts riding the skeletal horses. At one point, harpies show up, and they are bare-chested. That wouldn't fly by today's standards. The short, the stuff of nightmares, and deserves a viewing on Halloween night. Trick or Treat is all about All Hallows Eve. I mean, the main event of Halloween is in the title of the short. This is a Donald Duck feature, and although Donald retains his quacky voice, in this short you can actually understand what he is saying. On a full moon Halloween night, Witch Hazel, mounted on her broomstick, takes to the skies, scaring every living thing she comes across until she herself is spooked by a jack-o'-lantern. This jack-o'-lantern happens to be perched on a trick-or-treater's head. It's Huey, Dewey, and Louie on their way to trick-or-treat at Uncle Donald's house. Curious about these darklings, Hazel watches as the boys, a witch, a ghost, and a devil, ring Donald's front door. Sly Donald, however, has no intention of giving his nephews treats. He's all about the trick. He gives them each lit firecrackers that pop their candy bags. Then he dumps a bucket of water on them and laughs in their face. Some uncle. Hazel feels sympathetic towards the boys and offers to help them get some candy from their ruthless uncle, but when she confronts Donald, he pulls her nose, and then somehow, maybe he had 2 buckets, dumps another bucket of water on her. This makes Hazel furious, and she recruits the boys in helping her brew a magical concoction before she storms Donald's house on her magic broom. She threatens Donald with a curse if he doesn't give the boys any treats. Seeing that Hazel is a real witch, Donald begins to comply. Hazel tells the boys Donald is nothing but a pushover. Overhearing this, Donald's pride kicks in. He locks all the treats in his pantry and eats the key. Hazel administers her magic potion via a spray to Donald's feet and commands the feet to kick out the key. Suddenly, Donald's own feet begin kicking at his butt and knocking the key back up out of his mouth. Ever stubborn, Donald throws the key under the pantry door. Hazel orders Donald's feet to get some good running distance and uses them to ram Donald into the pantry door, breaking it down and giving the boys access to all the treats. This is a great short for the kids right before trick-or-treating. It is a colorful and playful and all-around fun short. The main musical piece of the short, Trick or Treat, is also catchy as all hell, and I find myself singing it to my kids all the time. Lastly is Ghoulfriend, which is a short from season 1 of the 2013 Mickey Mouse show. I have to say, for a modern Disney show, the 2013 season 1 is actually a lot of fun, and Ghoulfriend is no exception. Mickey's car breaks down near a spooky cemetery where Mickey encounters Zombie Goofy. Yep, the zombie is indeed Goofy. Poor Max. His dad died and became a flesh-eating zombo. Naturally, Mickey is scared out of his wits and flees in terror. Zombie Goofy pursues. Silly antics ensue, and just when it seems as if Mickey will have his brains eaten, it turns out that Zombie Goofy just wanted to lend Mickey a bone that he could use as a wrench to fix his car. It's super short, has that Halloweenish feel, and is pretty lighthearted. The animation doesn't compare with the older stuff, but it is nice for a modern take. It is sort of a weird year for Halloween, but whatever you are doing to celebrate this year, have fun and be safe. And if you see any monsters lurking in the darkness, run. Happy Halloween!